Chapter 3565. The True Harvest. Lin Moyu gathered everything he had seen before, like thousands of small streams, converging in his mind to finally reach a conclusion and see the truth. At this moment, Lin Moyu organized everything he had seen since the beginning of his cultivation, finally seeing the outline clearly. He felt he was getting closer and closer to the truth, just one step away. Today, he was standing at the source of the truth.
Just a little bit more.
Lin Moyu murmured in his heart, but this last bit, he just couldn't break through. His thoughts reached the end, unable to progress further. Lin Moyu felt an invisible force enveloping him. That sense of confusion and powerlessness could only be understood by those who had experienced it personally.
It's because my realm isn't high enough. I'm restricted by the laws of this world. The rules of heaven and earth don't allow me to know more. Who exactly set up these rules? Is it you? What exactly are you trying to do?
Lin Moyu once again felt that behind the world, there was a pair of big hands firmly controlling everyone's fate. Under these big hands, the entire world was like a chessboard, and the beings in the world were like chess pieces, manipulated at will. This feeling was very unpleasant, just like the feeling of powerlessness when his wife was taken away. Even though he knew his wife wouldn't be in danger, knew that their cultivation would improve faster, that they could steadily enter the great Tao realm, that feeling of displeasure still existed.
What you said about letting me become a Tao Lord first, I'm afraid you didn't mean a projection Tao Lord, but a true Tao Lord, right? What exactly are you trying to do?
The seemingly kind and gentle smile of the green-robed old man became extremely hateful in Lin Moyu's eyes. Lin Moyu stopped thinking and looked at this world again. A dozen or so great Taos were distributed in this world. After his recent contemplation, Lin Moyu had found answers to many questions. Why some great Taos were useful in the soul void while others weren't. Only the great Taos that projected into this space could exert their power in the soul void, otherwise their effects would be greatly reduced. Origin great Taos were a bit better, their power was inherently strong, so they could still affect the soul void to some extent. But some weaker branch great Taos were in a worse situation. Their power in the soul void was even weaker, sometimes even useless. Only here, these dozen or so great Taos could continue to exert their power in the soul void. This also meant that this void mirrored the soul void. This place was the ancestral land of origins, the foundation of great Taos, and also the foundation of the soul void. All things in the world converged here. This was the source of everything. Lin Moyu's gaze turned to the lakes.
The power of the great Taos converges to form lakes. What lies beneath these lakes?
He had an idea, could these lakes directly connect to the soul void? In his view, the soul void was a peculiar world between the real and the illusory, so this possibility couldn't be ruled out. Suddenly, the calm lakes began to churn. Huge waves rose from the lakes, quickly turning into tornadoes that soared into the sky. The undeath great Tao he was on also rumbled and shook. The entire great Tao quaked as if in an earthquake. Huge power surged up like waves, and Lin Moyu could no longer stand on the great Tao. In the void, that eye appeared again. Lin Moyu once again saw thousands of Tai Yang and Tai Yin origins. As the eye closed, the entire world suddenly darkened. His consciousness also sank into a daze at this moment. Everything in heaven and earth seemed to stop operating at this moment, then shattered like glass. The last scene Lin Moyu saw was the great Tao shattering, heaven and earth collapsing. Lin Moyu's whole body suddenly trembled. His soul returned to his physical body, and his consciousness became clear again. Gusts of wind blew against his face, endless dark clouds were overhead, and the pitch-black boundary sea was beneath his feet.
I'm back.
Lin Moyu confirmed that the scene before him wasn't an illusion. He had really returned, the origin ancestral land had departed, and the next time it would come might be tens of thousands of years later. This journey to the origin ancestral land was of extraordinary significance for Lin Moyu. In his cultivation career, none of his numerous adventures could compare to this one. The gains this time weren't in terms of cultivation or great Tao, but in understanding this world. Lin Moyu always believed that understanding this world, comprehending the essence of this world, was more important than anything else. Cultivation and great Tao would come as long as one was willing to spend time on them. But to understand the essence of the world required opportunity, and an unimaginable opportunity at that. Just like this trip to the origin ancestral land, which happened once every 10,000 years, and only Tao venerables could enter. For many Tao venerables, they might never have the chance to enter the origin ancestral land in their lifetime. Even if they were lucky enough to enter, they might not gain anything. This was opportunity, an opportunity rarer than cultivation itself. Lin Moyu stood motionless in mid-air, organizing what he had gained from this trip. Every detail of this journey to the origin ancestral land replayed in his memory like a movie, including his experiences, his understanding of the entire world, and he also had to think about how to report to the three ancestors. Not everything could be said, and he had only promised the three ancestors to say as much as possible. Suddenly, Lin Moyu frowned slightly.
My soul.
He suddenly discovered that in an extremely distant place, there was actually a trace of his own soul. Although separated by an infinite distance, so far that he couldn't control this trace of his soul, he could only vaguely sense it. But a trace of his soul had indeed separated.
A trace of my soul was left in that place, left on the undeath great Tao.
He hadn't actively separated his soul. How did this trace of soul get left behind? Lin Moyu tried hard to recall, finally remembering that giant eye appearing in the sky, and as the eye closed, heaven and earth shattered with it. It wasn't that heaven and earth really shattered, but that the heaven and earth seen by his soul shattered. If there was a moment when a trace of his soul was separated, it should have been at that time. Then Lin Moyu became excited.
A trace of soul left in the undeath great Tao. Why didn't I think of that? I should have done it actively.
He immediately realized how beneficial it was to leave a trace of soul in the undeath great Tao. It was equivalent to leaving a backdoor in the origin ancestral land. As long as he was close enough to the origin ancestral land, he might be able to manipulate the trace of soul he left behind. That meant he had never really left that unknown realm. He thought of when he first entered the unknown realm. Several voices congratulated him, but he couldn't see anyone. Now he understood. These beings had also left a trace of their souls in the unknown realm, in their respective great Taos. These were all true great Tao lords, truly powerful beings. In all the myriad worlds, there were only a dozen or so such powerful beings, showing how rare it was to become a true great Tao lord. At the same time, based on his judgment, Lin Moyu came to a shocking conclusion. Perhaps the person who killed the Lord of Hell was a true great Tao lord. The green-robed old man might also be a great Tao lord, or an even stronger being.